check this out. It's a Wolfang GA300 action camera. Hey folks, Wayne Jennings here with another camera review. Now this camera falls right in the middle of the lineup of Wolfang action cameras. What I really like about this one is it comes with an external microphone, which means we should get better audio. Now, just to let you know, I didn't pay for this camera. The folks at Wolfang sent it to me so I can test it and review it, and they're not paying me to do this review. They're not telling me what to say. All the opinions are mine. Now, before we get into any technical stuff, come along with me on a little walk through the woods. I'll show you some of the video that this little camera is capable of recording. So what do you think? Not bad video considering the price of this camera, maybe with the exception of the 4K 60. In my opinion, that was just a little too soft for my liking. Anyways, let's get to the technical parts and check out the camera itself. Now, the camera comes with this waterproof housing. It seems to be very durable, and in fact, you can take this down to a depth of 40 meters, so great if you're a scuba diver. I like the fact that the latch, you can't just accidentally open it. There's a little safety button here, so you gotta slide that and open it up. So that's a nice feature to see. I just want to also mention with this housing, as addition to the regular door in the back, there is this door which has these little slots. So you don't want to use this underwater because it would leak. But the idea is if you're using the camera in inclement weather, you know, rain or snow or fog, it'll still be pretty much protected, but these little slots allow excess heat to escape. Also allows you to record better audio because the sound can get into the housing. Now, the camera itself, you know, pretty basic little camera, lens on the front, power button. On the bottom here is a little door for the battery. Just kind of push it and slide it. And it's got a nice little metal spring-loaded hinge. That's nice to see. And the battery just slides in and out like so. Now, unfortunately, as you can see, there is no tripod socket on the bottom. That's a little disappointing. However, the camera does come with this cage, so you can slide it in like so. And now there's a tripod socket on the bottom. There's also one on the top. So that's what you have to do in order to mount it on the tripod. So let's see, continuing our little look at the camera. On this side, there's a little door that opens up to reveal HDMI output port, USB port for charging, and that's where your micro SD card goes. Above it, there's a little tiny microphone. On the far side, there's a couple more buttons here to help navigate the menu and turn the Wi-Fi on, and there's a little speaker on the bottom. And on the top,
we have your shutter release button. You also can use that when navigating the menu. There's a little LED that lights up when the Wi-Fi is connected. So we're just going to turn it on by pushing the power button on the front here. And there you get the little splash screen coming up. And it is a touchscreen, 2-inch touchscreen, fairly easy to operate. When you turn it on, it's in the video mode as indicated by the little video camera up there. To get to photo mode, you just slide from the side. Now it's in the photo mode. Slide it again, it's back in the video mode. Once in the video mode, of course, you can make all kinds of changes. If you hit down here, you get like a sub menu where you can shoot, normal video, a loop video, time lapse, slow motion, fast motion, or turn the Wi-Fi on. We'll just leave it in the normal mode there. And then if you hit the icon here, you can go in and make all kinds of changes like the video resolution. If you just hit that, you get different options, so you can scroll through anywhere from 720, 1080, 2.7 up to 4K. Find the one you want, click it on, and you're all set to go. I'll just run through quickly some of the other settings. There's an image stabilizer. You can turn your audio voice recording on or off. Wind noise reduction, exposure compensation. You can change the metering pattern, put a date stamp. Then if you hit this gear icon, there's like a sub menu. There's other things you can change. You can turn the sounds on or off, change the angle of view of the lens. There's a diving mode, special effects you can set up. There's a distortion calibration for the lens. You can turn the microphone on or off because you can plug in an external microphone. There's an upside down switch if the camera's mounted upside down. Screensaver, auto power off, power frequency, change the white balance, set the date and time, language, format, the memory card. So it is pretty extensive. That also applies to the photo mode. We'll go to photo here. And again, if we hit the menu, you can go in and change things. In this case, it's resolution. So as high as 24 megapixels, as low as 8 megapixels. Various other things like image quality, change the ISO, metering mode, things like that. And again, there's a sub menu, which would be very similar to the sub menu on the video. There's also a playback button on here. If you push that, you can play back videos as well. Now, there are these little buttons on the side, plus and minus. There's this digital zoom lens, and each time you click it, it moves the image a little bit closer. It is a digital zoom. Unfortunately, you can't operate it while the camera's recording. You just have to click that beforehand. Now, this is a touchscreen, so if it's in the housing, you can't actually access it, and for that, you have to use these buttons.
Well, let's have a look inside this box, and we'll see exactly what's included in this camera kit. And as you can see, you do get a lot of accessories. In addition to the camera itself, you get a housing that is waterproof to a depth of 40 meters, that's 131 feet, along with a dustproof back door. There's a camera cage and a belt clip. You get a nice selection of mounting hardware and tripod adapters. There are 2 quick-release plates with self-adhesive tape on the back. One of them is flat, and one has a slight curvature for mounting on a helmet. This camera comes with an external clip-on microphone. You get 2 lithium-ion rechargeable batteries, each rated at 1,350 milliamp hours, along with a USB micro cable for charging. There's a 2-function remote control and a user manual. Now here's a little audio test. I'm not too far away, about arm's length from the camera. My voice is being picked up on the built-in microphone on the camera. I'm just speaking in a normal voice, and actually does a pretty good job at capturing audio. But this camera will get even better audio because it comes with this. This is a supplied plug-in microphone, uses a USB connection. You get much better sound with this. So I'm going to plug it in and let you hear the difference. So I've plugged in this external microphone. It has a little clip on here, so I can clip it to my clothing. The cable is about 2 meters long, so I can get further away and still get good sound. The other great thing about this microphone is, I can be behind the camera or I can have my back to the camera, and it is still going to record good sound. Another thing this camera is very good at is recording time-lapse video. This sequence was recorded at the 4K resolution. With this function, you can record a single frame of video every 1, 3, 5, 10, 30, or 60 seconds. And it does a pretty good job shooting still photos in resolutions of 8, 10, 14, 16, 20, or up to 24 megapixels. These photos can be captured in various modes, including burst, time-lapse, self-timer, and long exposures.
This camera has a built-in image stabilization system, or EIS for short. Right now it's turned off. I'm just walking down this trail holding the camera at arm's length. Let me just turn the camera around. There's the same shot, walking forward. So, you know, it's a bit bumpy, handheld like this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back, retrace my steps, only this time I will turn the EIS on, and then you can see for yourself if it does in fact make any difference. All right, so I am walking over the same section path. This time I've turned the EIS on. Let me just turn the camera around here. There's that same shot going forward with the EIS turned on. And back to me. And as you can see, it does smooth things out a bit. I mean, it's no GoPro Hyper Smooth. You know, I don't think it does a great job. It just does an okay job.
Now, this is an automatic camera, but there are a few settings you can tweak, including the white balance, the ISO, and my favorite is an EV setting. This allows you to adjust the exposure up or down by 2 stops in 1-stop increments.
This action camera has a feature called distortion correction. A lot of these wide-angle lenses tend to distort the image. If you notice above me, it's kind of high in the middle and low on the edges. And if you look at this wall over here, it's supposed to be straight, but it actually curves a little bit. That's because of the distortion of the wide-angle lens. So what we're going to do is turn the distortion correction on, and you'll see that those lines end up getting nice and straight. Now I've turned the distortion correction function on. It does tend to crop the image a bit, but as you can see from the roofline above, things are nice and level. And if you look at this wall over here, no longer curved, it is nice and straight. This camera can be operated from a distance using the included remote control, or if you download the app, you can use your smartphone. In order to use the remote control, you first have to power it on, and you do that by pushing both buttons and holding them down for a few seconds until those LEDs flash. So now we have power. The white button allows you to record video. If you hit that once, the camera will begin recording video until you push it again. And if you want to snap a still picture, push the red button and the camera takes a still photo. For more control, you want to download the app to your phone. It's called iSmart DV2. And then once it's in there, you just select the camera. It takes a few seconds and the camera connects. And as you can see, there's the image that the camera sees. If I turn the phone sideways, I get a nice big view as well. So you can do a lot from here. If you hit the red button at the bottom, it will start recording video. I can also shoot still pictures and record time-lapse from here. But there's a lot of settings you can do. If you hit this button up here, you can go in, change the resolution. And there's also a bigger menu here where you can go in and change all kinds of things like the white balance. You can shoot slow motion. You can set up for different file lengths and exposure compensation and image stabilization. A lot of the features of the camera are available on this menu. You can also play back images if you hit this button down at the bottom here. All the images from your memory card then come over to your phone, and you can scroll through, find the video, the photos you want, and you can view them as well. You can also adjust the angle or field of view that's captured by the lens. Right now, this is the wide setting. This is what they call the medium setting. And this is the narrow setting. It just lets you get closer to your subject without actually moving the camera. So once again, this is wide, and this is medium, and this is narrow.
There are some other settings on this camera, including a diving mode for taking the camera underwater, a loop record setting. This allows you to record sequences in lengths of 1, 3, or 5 minutes. There's a fast motion setting that will record video up to 15 times faster than normal speed, and a driving mode. If you're using this camera as a dash cam, it will automatically begin recording as soon as the car is started. This little camera will also record slow motion, albeit you're limited to 60 frames per second. So here's a sample of some of the video in slow motion captured by this little camera. Well, in conclusion, I was pretty impressed with the WOLFANG GA300 action camera. Video resolution was very nice, very sharp, especially at 30 frames per second. You push it up to 60 frames, things start getting a little soft, especially at 4K. I was really disappointed at 4K 60. I'm sure that was an interpolated frame rate because it just looked really, really mushy. So my advice, stick with 1080, 2.7, 4K, all at 30 frames, and you really can't go wrong. But what I really like about this camera is the fact that it has a plug-in microphone. Now, even without that microphone, the built-in mic gets really good sound, but when you plug in that external mic, you get great sound. And I think that's what really makes this camera a winner.